Okay, so before we begin, I want to confirm, yes, the rumors are true. I did write this Facebook post. Look everyone, sorry and target name reveal! Hello everyone, this is Sorry and Target bringing you some very important news. For the first time ever, we have actual behind-the-scenes information on what happened to the Steam port of Carnivores, straight from Andrew, the dev who runs the Steam page. Now, I'm not going to waste too much time with this intro because there's a lot of important information to dissect here. But if you're new or confused as to what's going on with this whole Steam port situation, I've got some links to some videos in the description that you may find useful. So, without further ado, let's begin. Okay, so the spark that seems to have ignited this fire happened on February 13th, 2018, when an official announcement was made on the Carnivores Steam page for the first time in almost a year. The post was made by Andrew, and here's what it had to say. Quote, "Thank you for being a part of our community and for supporting Carnivores on Steam. As of now, due to some technical reasons, dependent and independent on us, Carnivores won't be released to the promised time. We continue working on Carnivores for Steam platform, but we can't disclose an expected release date. So thanks to all of you who voted. Stay tuned. We will work hard to make our new Carnivores something you'll love." Finally, we have an official word about the Steam port. I'll give credit where it's due. This message itself is exactly what we needed to hear. It's short, it's simple, it doesn't have to get bogged down with behind the scenes problems or anything like that. It just says that Tatum has run into problems and won't be able to release the Steam port on time. That is all we needed. Problem is, it's too late. Way too late. I mean, this should have been posted in April, May at the absolute latest of last year. I mean, Carnivores won't be released to the promised time? Yeah, we all kind of figured that one out 9 months ago. This is like the weatherman warning everyone about a tornado after the tornado's already destroyed 3 towns. And the fans who still keep up with the Steam page, understandably, did not seem too pleased with being told something that they already knew so late in the game. So, concerns were voiced, and those concerns were met with an official response. That's when Andrew himself, the only dev working on the Steam port and apparently the only employee at Tatum who seems to care about Carnivores at all, took the time to reply to the fans and answer some questions. So right now, I'm just going to read his replies verbatim so you guys can read his exact words. No distortion, no editing. Now, it's a lot to take in, but we'll discuss all of what Andrew told us in just a few minutes. And guys, I know it's going to be a little hard to read. English is not Andrew's native language, so there's a little bit of a language barrier here, but I'm going to read it just as he's written it. I mean, no disrespect. I just want you guys to hear it exactly as he said it. Quote, "Hey guys, do you read my announcement post? We continue working on Carnivores for Steam platform, but they can't disclose an expected release date. Carnivores Steam port is not dead. I don't understand why you all blame my gym game. It's stupid as for me. My gym is completely different game, and on this game works completely different people. So please don't mess my gym and Carnivores. We all wait for more than 17 years. You wait 17 years to play new classic Carnivores game. I wait 17 years to get opportunity to work on Carnivores. So if Carnivores is classic game, right? How about classic when it's done? Who said that Carnivores Steam port is dead? We don't. We say that we need more time for development and not to lie to you again, like we don't want to name a release date. Right now we finally solved some financial crisis and move forward. And I finally got new programmer in my giant team from 2 peoples. But for now we work on mobile updates, because we need support live versions on mobile first. Don't forget that Tatum is a mobile developer. As for Steam port, we have great plans about it, and just need time to develop it all we want, no matter how long it can be. Please note, we don't have special guy that reads all posts on Facebook on forums. I don't have time to read all posts you write here. Not because I don't care, because I just don't have time. I don't know how to work with community. I know how to make games. I am the only person who really wanted to develop Carnivores on Tatum for before now. so please take patience. Be a truly fans. And what does this mean? We have video confirmation that even says you halted production for financial reasons despite MyGM not costing a dime on the Google Play Store? What? Do you know something about free-to-play monetization? Or ads? MyGM generate money for us so we can move forward and thinks about projects like Carnivores in future. Okay, why we don't tell you? I don't know. Now I tell. Is it changing something if you know about this before? Do you be more kind for us? Do you understand our situation and don't hate us? Do you be more like a real fans and not haters? Do you think something changes if you write, "Oh, this Tatum lied to me. I don't believe anymore to Tatum. Tatum sucks." Anyone can scold. It's easy. But do something. All this toxic post and video confirmation don't help at all. No, really. Why we start this Carnivores Steam port and open greenlight? Because we love Carnivores as you and more. We want to warm up some interest to a game that got 20th anniversary this year. 20 years! And we probably overdone with this. Maybe we need to make this port in secret and then put it on a Steam. I don't know. So why Tatum moved to MyGym and not for Carnivores on Steam? Yes, because of money. How many do you think Tatum make money on Steam port from game like Carnivores? I think about 10,000 to 15,000. But I may be wrong, it's just my thoughts. Is it helps Tatum to stay on business? Obviously no. If Tatum don't take a decision to make MyGym, we probably already were closed, and you will never get any new hope for Carnivores no more. But on this new update works only two people, me and Dimitri. Dimitri is a programmer who actually writes this mobile port. Dimitri and I worked on action forms before, but not on original Carnivores because we were too young. Next, me and Dimitri think that will be cool to return Carnivores to PC on Steam, and we start Steam Greenlight. Almost right after we got this greenlight, thanks to you guys, Dimitri starts working on other big company. Why? Because Dimitri work on Tatum for hire. He won't be a Tatum developer team member. Why? I don't know. Maybe Dimitri doesn't want to work on Tatum full time. So we freeze all work on Steam, as on mobile port, as well for all this period. Why we don't find a new programmer? Because it was a bad time for Tatum. No money, risk to close studio. Our team reduces from 25 plus to 9 people. Well, you know, it's game dev, sometime it happens. I don't work on original Carnivores. I was too young in 1998. But I start working in action forms when I was 16 years old, right because of Carnivores in 2000. Ice Age development was on final stage, so I work on other projects. After 6 years, I quit from Action Forms to open my own studio. Action Forms is closed on 2009. Well, you can't just close studio because of IPs, support, and other stuff, but all developer team go to find new job, and Tatum take Action Forms' place. As you probably know, Tatum is mobile developer studio. So after 9 years from last Carnivores was released, someone in Tatum thinks that make a mobile port be a great idea. And they do it. I can't tell you what happened between 2010 and 2015 in Tatum because I just don't know. I wasn't work on Tatum before 2015. When I joined at Tatum, I was the person who pushes to make an update on mobile version, and you got all this new fancy graphics update, revolver, trophy room, night mode, and all the other stuff. At Tyrant X, this post is not personal for you but for all readers. I can tell you why. The question is, do you accept this? So sorry for my bad English, not my native language. Can write post on Ukrainian or Russian, but I think you guys don't be happy with that. Okay, just imagine a situation. Last official release of original Carnivores game was in 2001, Carnivores Ice Age. Cityscape and Reborn is side projects from other developers, so I don't count them. After 2001, no one from Action Forms don't work on official Carnivores series until 2010, when Tatum make a port for mobile, iOS. Why Tatum? Because Action Forms is no longer exist and Tatum is the only IP holder. Why? Because CEO of Action Forms and Tatum is the same person. Reply. So the reason production is halted is because the CEO of Action Forms is the same one at Tatum? No. Reply. Wouldn't they know that their primary franchise would make more money than some poor gym sim? Actually, some poor gym sim make much more money than game like Carnivores on Steam. Reply. Why didn't you just put ads on the Carnivores mobile ports if ads are your main source of revenue? We did. You probably don't play on mobile version, and Carnivores is free on Google Play. try to be honest with you, but you twist my words. This is probably my last comment here. I try to read all your posts, but don't promise for an answer. Have a lot to work to do than just talk. Just try to be patient and wait for official announcements. Close quote. Okay guys, I know this was a lot of information to take in, but first I want to talk to Andrew specifically. Now, he and I have already been having several discussions over the past few weeks, but I want to say this again publicly. Andrew, thank you. Thank you so much for finally giving us some answers. I know you and I don't always see eye to eye and that there is a language barrier that sometimes makes communication difficult and causes some misunderstandings, and for that I am truly sorry. But thank you for providing us with these answers. And I want you to understand that all of these videos, all of these comments and posts are not attacking you as a person. Not at all. We, the community, truly feel sorry for you because it appears that you cannot work on carnivores like you want to. In my last video, I defended you because it seems like you are the only person at Tatum who cares at all about carnivores. And as I've said before, if you truly care about carnivores, then I am on your side. We all are. All of these videos, all of these posts, they are not attacking you as a person. If that's how it felt, then again, I am truly sorry. That was never my intent. Those videos are simply trying to find answers on what happened to carnivores, because that's all we want. Answers. And you have finally given us some. And just as you have taken the time to sit down and answer our questions, please allow me to do the same for you, and hopefully help clarify some misunderstandings. Okay, so first things first guys, the Steam port of Carnivores is not dead. Actual confirmation from the only person working on it, the Steam port is not cancelled. It's just on hold right now. So our question is, why? Here is our answer, starting at the beginning as best I can interpret it. So firstly, just to clarify and establish some context, Andrew came to work for Tatum in 2015, which is very comforting news to hear for me personally. That means all of the crappy content, the lame dinosaurs, the boring maps, all of that garbage that's been parasitically sucking the uniqueness from carnivores, none of that was Andrew's doing. That all happened before his time. When he showed up in 2015, after this mess and after this mess, he began pushing Tatum to work on carnivores again. And, along with Dimitri, brought us the great new graphical update that we covered back in 2016. Dimitri, however, wasn't a full-time employee at Tatum, but because he and Andrew were apparently the only people at Tatum who cared about carnivores, they thought it would be cool to listen to the fans and launch carnivores on Steam with modding capabilities. Unfortunately, that's right about the time when Tatum hit a rough spot financially. Apparently, it was so bad that the company risked closing down because of a lack of finances. Which, according to Andrew, is why they had to begin working on My Gym, a quick, cheap mobile game to boost some revenue and pull Tatum back out of near bankruptcy. During this time, Dimitri left Tatum for another company, and Tatum's employee list shrunk from 25 plus to about 9 people, and Andrew was left as the only person who wanted to work on carnivores. Unfortunately, however, all of Tatum's focus was poured into My Gym to save the company, so all work on carnivores was frozen. Now, however, according to Andrew, Tatum seems to have finally recovered from the crisis. But Tatum is a mobile developer first and foremost, so they have to prioritize the mobile ports over the Steam port to stay in business. And now, we appear to have caught up on all that's been happening with the Steam port of Carnivores. Basically, Tatum hit a rough financial slump, and because Carnivores, specifically the Steam port, would not turn enough profit to keep them afloat, they turned to something that would. Now, there are a couple of comments that Andrew made that I do want to address, and he and I have already kind of discussed these in private, so these public declarations I'm making now are more directed at Tatum than anyone else. These quotes in particular, basically the ones that address how Carnivores isn't making Tatum enough money to the point where My Gym had to be created to essentially save carnivores. Now, I don't know all the workings that go on behind the scenes at Tatum, and I don't have all the hard numbers here in front of me. Andrew probably does. But I do work in finances. That is my full-time job. And I understand that you need money in order to do things. Business, bureaucracy, stuff like that. I get it. But, if I may be so bold, I'd argue the reason why Tatum is struggling financially and why Carnivores is not producing enough profit is because Tatum is not treating the Carnivores IP well. Andrew said that Tatum had to turn to apps like My Gym to generate revenue and stay afloat. Well, maybe if Tatum actually put their full focus, attention, and passion into Carnivores, then there would be no need to fall back on apps like My Gym. Andrew said that some poor gym sim makes much more money than a game like Carnivores on Steam. Now again, I don't have all the numbers or variables in front of me, but I firmly believe that that is not Carnivores' fault. It's Tatum's fault. I mean, there is virtually no advertising for Carnivores on Tatum's end, no push to get its name out there, no marketing strategies, no new content, no public relations buzz, nothing. And that's unfortunate, because dinosaur games have never been more popular than they are right now. Jurassic World destroyed box office records when it came out 3 years ago. It made more money than any analyst's best predictions. And look at the success of the games that followed. Ark, The Isle, Saurian, Wrath of the Goliaths, Prehistoric Kingdom, Mesozoica. Do I even need to mention Jurassic World the game, a free-to-play dinosaur app? I may not like all of these games necessarily, but they are incredibly well known within the dinosaur community, the gaming community, and many of them have found enormous success on virtually no budget. I mean, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom comes out this summer. The hype surrounding Jurassic World Evolution is stronger than that of any dinosaur game I've ever seen. Carnivores, one of the first true dinosaur video games ever, and the first true dinosaur hunting simulator, turns 20 years old this fall. The time is perfect to focus on Carnivores right now. Dinosaurs make money. People love them. It's basically hardwired into human beings to love dinosaurs. And I don't think the fact that Carnivores isn't making Tatum money is any fault of Carnivores. I think it's on Tatum. If treated with the love, care, and respect it deserves, Carnivores will make money. It's a gold mine. I firmly believe that. And I want to clarify a point that I think a few people missed in my last video. I didn't use the YouTube search example here to show which one is making more money. I used it to show popularity, public interest, and brand recognition. Carnivores is a recognizable and nostalgic brand with almost 2 decades of franchise building and an already built-in audience. My Gym has none of that. It's successful because it appeals to a shallow demographic that mindlessly absorbs content like this because it's all the same and familiar. If Tatum put in their time and effort and focus on this brand that has already established itself, I mean, that's easy money. Tatum, you are sitting on a treasure trove with this franchise. I just don't think you're doing enough with it. Not to overuse a horse analogy again, but you can buy a prized racing stallion in the best condition of his life. But if you keep him in a rundown shack with no heat, no hay, little food and water, and no room to run, that prized stallion is not going to perform well. In fact, he's going to perform terribly. And that's not the horse's fault. It's the owner's. Again, I don't know all the details. Maybe Tatum's run the numbers and truly does not believe that Carnivores can make them enough money. But, in the wise words of Master Oogway,
maybe it can, if you are willing to guide it, to nurture it, to believe in it.
The other comment I want to address is this comment. The one where Andrew asks us if his telling us this information changes anything. And the answer to that is yes. Absolutely, yes it does. I believe a lack of communication has been our biggest problem here. Like I've said before, we will understand if problems arise. We're not heartless monsters. If you lose team members, if your budget gets cut, if you're forced to work on different projects, that's fine. It's unfortunate, but it's fine. We will understand. We understand that life happens sometimes. I get it. We get it. What upsets us is that we are never informed when things happen. The past year has been the equivalent of going to see your favorite movie in theaters. You've waited years for this movie to come out. You could not be more excited. The previews are over, the lights dim, and the announcer says, "And now, our feature presentation." Then, nothing. A blank screen. For a whole year. despite trying to contact the guy in the projection room, the manager of the theater, anyone who can explain why the movie isn't playing, no one answers. That's what this has been. You ran into problems completing the Steam port. That's fine. What isn't fine is that you left us in the dark. You let our excitement just fade away on its own. You forced us to make our own assumptions about what happened because you would not tell us. This is why we blamed My Gym, because for all we knew, Tatum had just abandoned Carnivores to work on My Gym. We didn't know why, you didn't tell us. All we saw was that Carnivores was coming to Steam, and then 9 months later, Tatum's only activity is focused around some random gym app. To someone who has no idea what's going on behind the scenes, that looks very suspicious. We have been patient waiting for those official announcements, but those official announcements have to actually show up at some point. I understand being a prominent figure in a community isn't everyone's strong suit. I'm not that great at it myself. But that's why I set up a Twitter page, why I hop onto the Discord server, to let people know when problems arise quickly, so they don't have to make assumptions on their own. Yes, I did write that Facebook post, because I thought there needed to be an official announcement there addressing the state of the Steam port. And I think the announcement went well, and I'll be happy to write another one if more news comes out. But we need to be kept in the loop. We don't have to know all the explicit details of every situation. We just need to know what's going on. Talk to us, keep us informed, and we'll understand. And to address the last point, he's right. It is easy to sit back and scold, which is why I always offer alternate suggestions when I critique things in my videos. But do something? My friend, we have an entire decade's worth of hard work doing something, of pointing out flaws, critiquing, and offering a better alternative. These mods aren't just some fun escape from reality, a hobby to keep us entertained. They're expressions. Expressions of what we as fans want out of the franchise, what we hoped it would become, and what we still wish to see it evolve into. They give us the leg to stand on, the right to criticize Tatum's lack of content because we've created the content ourselves. No professional developers, no budget, no pay, nothing. Just time, passion, and effort. We have done something. Now it's Tatum's turn. Guys, I won't lie, I hate seeing Carnivores like this. This grand, rich franchise, one of the very first proper dinosaur video games ever, that means so much to so many people, reduced to a 1 in a million run-of-the-mill knockoff phone app. Your iPhone isn't where Carnivores belongs, it should be on the PC. And it makes me so sad that Tatum doesn't believe in it, that they have so little faith and put so little effort into it that they only have one person working on it. Again, if you saw someone mistreating that prized stallion, of course you'd report them for animal cruelty, because that owner does not deserve to own such a magnificent animal. And maybe that's the case here. I believe Tatum needs to sit down as a company, reevaluate their priorities, and put everything they have into Carnivores. Give Andrew some help. He's just one guy who got thrown into this mess, and is trying his best. I can't blame him for that. I firmly believe that Tatum would not be in financial trouble if they treated Carnivores like an actual franchise, and not as some side project they can just check the pulse on once every blue moon. If Tatum does not shape up and figure this out, of course they're going to run into financial ruin. And that's unfortunate, but maybe that'll be the proof that Carnivores was not meant to be just another dinosaur app, that it needs to be taken care of on its home turf. However, all hope is not lost. Like Andrew said in his post, the Steam port of Carnivores is just on hold until he can get some help. But until then, work on the mobile ports will continue. So Andrew and I have been having several discussions over the past few weeks, trying to calm some temperaments and establish a better connection. And I believe we have found a beneficial solution that gets we, the community, more involved with the official Carnivores content than ever before. And I think is a great way to help bridge the gap and make Carnivores what we want it to be. In my discussions with Andrew, he mentioned that he's been keeping up with several technical issues and bugs with the mobile ports through my videos, and wants to fix them, like spelling mistakes, continuity errors, weird glitches, and, quote, dinosaur sizes. But the easiest way to do this is to compile a list of these issues that he can keep track of without getting flooded by a ton of comments from everyone. And this is where you guys, the community, get to be a part of reshaping carnivores to our liking. So I've created a Google Doc that lists the issues we need fixed for Dinosaur Hunter and Ice Age for Andrew to quickly and easily keep up with. Now, keep in mind that this is not a list for new content, so no new maps or dinosaurs or anything like that. We already have plenty of those lists out there. I know that might be disappointing to some, but we've got to take this in baby steps. I've been preaching for years about how I don't like that Carnivores games keep getting pumped out with little to no polish or continuity. Well, guys, this is our chance to stop, take a breath, and fix what we've got to polish an official Carnivores game to our liking. So again, no new content just yet. The base game still needs to be reworked for that. Just smaller technical and aesthetic touches for now. In fact, as an example, I'll get our list started. Certain dinosaurs have spikes, spines, and feathers that are only visible on one side. The overhead map pictures of the locations on the hunt menu of Carnivores Ice Age should be in Dinosaur Hunter as well, and shrink the dadgum Spinosaurus back down to its original size. Pretty please. I'm also working on rewriting those Dinopedia articles myself, legitimately this time, to incorporate a little bit of lore and world building, just to make them more readable and fleshed out. Plus, I've got a few ideas to help bring some life back to that Carnivores Facebook page, but we'll see if those ideas actually get passed. So guys, sound off in the comments. If you find a bug or have an issue that you want addressed in the mobile Carnivores ports, let me know in the comment section below. And be sure to include the hashtag bugfix in your comments, so I can quickly sort through them and find them all to add to the Google Doc. I'll be keeping an eye on this video and the comments here, so as long as you use that hashtag, I'll be able to find your comment quickly and get it to the Google Doc, just so it's not complete chaos in there. Also, and this is perhaps the most exciting part of our discussions, Andrew is actually on our side about the canon style in regard to the animals, and does not like the way the new mobile animals look either. Like, that is some excellent news to hear. Oh man. Remember, he came to work at Tatum in 2015, well after the last of the new dinosaurs and animals were already added, and he does not like the way they look either. He mentioned at least reskinning them to look more canon styled at some point, which is a great start, but they're gonna need some new models or even complete removal to fit with the lore. But even just the fact that we have the one guy working on Carnivores on our side about canon styled animals is a huge relief. Alright guys, this has been a huge event in Carnivores history. We have answers, we have declarations and ultimatums, and we may finally have a bridge to help connect the community with the official content in ways we never had before. Like my last update video on the Steam port, I know this probably wasn't the most cheerful or entertaining video, but honestly, I feel like this is the most important video I've ever made on this channel. Of all the videos I have on here, I wish this would be the one that people watch, because I believe this message is important. Again, and just to clarify, I still do not trust Tatum. Statements like this, confirmation that Andrew is literally the only person working there who cares about carnivores, make me sick. Until they wake up and realize their mistreatment of carnivores needs to stop, I will keep criticizing them for it. Simple as that. However, I'm willing to at least extend a helping hand to Andrew. He's the only person at Tatum who seems to care about carnivores, and so far all the content and ideas he's had for the franchise have been good ones. So I'm willing to help him out in any way I can. If Tatum won't help him out, then I think we should. We've already been picking up their slack for years now. I see no reason why we shouldn't continue that trend here. And guys, thanks as always for watching. Like I said, I know these types of videos aren't the most fun, and I know lately the channel might have felt very, boo Tatum, yay canon and whatnot, but I promise we're picking back up with more fun Carnivores content soon. And I'm very sorry there have been huge gaps between videos. Like I've said before, this isn't my job, it's just a side project right now, and there's been a lot going on behind the scenes and discussing things with Andrew and real life stuff, and sometimes it just takes it out of you, you know? But I'm hard at work on these videos every chance I get, because I want to keep making videos for you guys, and to make sure Carnivores gets the recognition it deserves. I think this is a huge step forward for the Carnivore series. Perhaps now that we have a direct line of communication to Tatum, we can start patching things up and building bridges to unite Carnivores fans everywhere. I sure hope so, at least. Be sure to sound off in the comments, guys. What do you think about these recent developments? And if you have any suggestions or improvements for the Carnivores mobile ports, be sure to let me know down in the comments section below. I've already given Andrew a few suggestions to work on, so let's keep them coming. This is our chance to help make the official Carnivores games what we want them to be. And then, hopefully when the Steam port comes out, we can really go wild. Of course, as more updates and news about the mobile ports comes out, we will be covering them here, so be sure to stay tuned to the channel for more updates on all things Carnivores. Thanks again for watching, guys. You are all amazing, wonderful, other fluffy adjectives that really boil down to one fact. You guys are truly, truly the best. And I will see you guys next time.